Hey everybody, welcome to episode 86 of the All JuveCast, and we are coming off the 2-0 win over Brescia, and as promised, I've got another guest with me, and it is another first-timer, which is always a treat. Yusuf, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Alberto. How are you?
I'm doing great, my man. Doing great. Thank you for joining me. And the routine around here. What we're gonna do is start off finding out your story on how you became a fan of our beloved Juventus.
So I became a fan in '96,
All right.
and I've been a fan ever since then. And then in 2006, when the whole world, all the fans left Juventus, I stayed with them through the relegation in Serie B, and been a fan since then.
Nice, nice. I don't think we'll call the ones that did abandon us fans in '06. But what was it that drew you to Juventus in '96?
Just the passion and the professionalism of the team. Like, they're very professional. The players stay around for a long, long time. They don't jump around from team to team.
Yeah. And in '96, were you, because you're in Eastern Canada right now.
Right.
In '96, where did you find yourself? Because over in North America, I always it's interesting how people latched on to Juventus, because it was always hard in North America to find coverage during that period of time. So I'm curious, how did you find out about them? Or
So in Toronto, we have a channel. It's called Tele Latino.
Nice.
So they used to show all the Serie A games here.
Awesome.
And then if you were lucky enough to catch Rai, because they had a cable package, you could subscribe to Rai.
Yeah.
So they had a majority of the Serie A games.
So
here.
just through Ryan Latino, hey, there you go. That's awesome, man. Well, thanks for sharing that. Let's get to this match against Brescia. We're going to kick it off with the starting lineups and just get each other's thoughts leading into the match. So starting lineup, we knew Ronaldo was being rested. He wasn't even on the team list. Big boost was Chiellini being back on the team list. Should he see some minutes? Everybody was kind of highly anticipating that. We'll get to that later. We had Szczesny in goal, Danilo on the right, Sandro on the left, Rugani and Bonucci in the middle at the back. In the middle of the park, Bentancur as regista, Rabiot to his left, Aaron Ramsey to his right. I actually really like this. I was hoping that we could see Rabiot try out playing that deep lying position, but I was perfectly fine with what we got out of there. And I wanted to continue to see Ramsey in that Mezzala role. Up top, Cuadrado on the wing, and Dybala up top listed. And then Higuain as well, actually, the three of them. So, and it showed Cuadrado being left wing, Dybala on right, and then Higuain up top. I was okay with the lineup. I was really interested in seeing the midfield continue to build off what we had there, and I wanted to see if we can get some answers with Cuadrado. And now that Danilo's back, DeCilio back, should we be pushing him forward? What were your thoughts when you saw that lineup, Yusuf?
It was a great lineup. It was nice to see Rugani in there after a long, long time.
Yeah.
We don't know what's with Rugani. Do they have confidence in him or not? He hasn't played too much all year.
Yeah, well, he's usually pretty frustrating, and fans get, and I get on him too myself. I think we just have higher expectations. But to be honest, under Sarri so far, the few appearances he's been okay. But yeah, continue on with the lineups.
So Cuadrado, he plays with a lot of pace and a lot of speed, but sometimes I feel he's too fast. Doesn't pass the ball off in a good spot.
It's the decision making for sure.
Yeah, I've noticed that even in the Milan game in the Coppa Italia and some of the rest of the games this year. It's great to have Ramsey in there, as long as he's healthy rest of the way, because he's been up and down with. He's been injury prone. And Sandro, I don't know what to say.
Wow.
Maybe he needs to be out of the lineup for a while.
We'll get to Sandro a little later. I definitely want to touch on Sandro, but yeah, okay. So we got the lineups covered. Let's get to the actual match. And before we get going with some of the review, I thought it was pretty cool what the Brescia Ultras did in solidarity with the Juventus fans and whatnot, as we know that the Juve Ultras have been banned from using megaphones and drums and having flags and everything. So Brescia, as promised, had their banner upside down and didn't use any of the banned items for the Juventini, and I thought that was really, really cool. So very, very cool showing in solidarity there. Let's get to the match itself here. 15 minutes in to this one, and already a big difference in just how we're moving the ball. Very, very quick tempo. Not too many guys eating it, as I like to say, when they just hold on for far too long. So we were moving it very, very good. We were keeping the width, something that I've noticed lately has become an issue, is we get way too narrow, but we were keeping the width very well, especially with Danilo, who was actually committing himself to the attack a lot, forcing the defense to stay honest and giving others space. We generated a lot of dangerous crosses in too. We just weren't really getting to him, and I think that it's hard too, and I could see fans' frustrations with that, but at the same time, we haven't really played that way consistently, so it's really, really hard to expect it all to gel kind of immediately, right? So I took this game for what it was, but we'll get to that a little later. But we were getting dangerous crosses. We were getting the ball consistently in a dangerous area to be putting those balls in. Harder for the defense to do something with when you're running towards your goal, rather than how we usually do it, 20, 30 yards out and then cross the ball and the whole defense is ahead of it, right? But I did notice that our back post threat is essentially almost non-existent.
Right, yeah.
We have Dybala up there, we have Higuain up there. When Higuain loves to make that spot run or short side run, but we lose our back post threat. Dybala, for whatever reason, likes to stop. He likes to go into the higher up top spots for shots and whatnot. We have really nobody attacking back post essentially ever. And when we think back to last year, we had a lot of success with it through Mario Mandzukic. This is something I've noticed this year that's trailed off completely, is our back post threat is non-existent whatsoever. We need to change that. He's got to realize that there's just no option there. When the balls are going, there's nobody there to get to, whether it's committing a midfielder to cover or whatnot. But theoretically, if you're running a 4-3-3, that winger on that backside needs to have that covered. I don't think it's going to be an issue with Ronaldo, but it could be, because he's got so much freedom and he can be all over the place that technically we still do lose it. So it's something we got to look at for sure. Let's see here. We got, as we move through the match, we had a little bit of a bad play at the back, starting with Rugani, then right back to Bonucci as he's going to clear. We're then under pressure. Bentancur with a sketchy decision, almost gives it to a guy staring right down our goal. Luckily, nothing come from it, but we have these moments when we're put under pressure and we're trying to play out of the back that I would rather us boot the thing safely up the field, gain position back, try and win it back, and then move forward. But this playing at the back under pressure has been an issue no matter who's in that deep lying spot. It's worrisome that we still haven't been able to figure it out, and especially under Brescia, against Brescia, who's missing 4 key guys and should essentially be toothless, which they were in this match anyways. But 31st minute, we finally get a real quality chance. Dybala, unfortunately, gets it all wrong. Right-footed in front of goal. He pulled back nicely. Higuain found him, but his shot was awful. But, again, we're consistently getting the ball deep in the final third, which is great to see. That's what we want to do, and we're getting the balls into the dangerous areas. Sandro. This is a moment that comes to me with great frustration as I see it during the match. And we're moving up the field. And he's got options. He's got an option inside. He's got another midfielder making a run down. He crosses it in. Okay, he's about 30 yards out, maybe a little closer, but out on the flank. He crosses it in. We literally, at that point, have only Higuain in the middle of the area. He's literally trying to pinpoint this thing, and they've got 3 defenders in there. We only have Higuain. This is just mind-blowing to me that this is the option he goes with when he's got play inside. And we were playing good to feet, throughout, that he decides I'm going to cross it in with just Higuain, and the Higuain was still at the top of the area. It's not like he was making a run short post or anything like it. He's at the top of the area. The cross goes to the top of the area. It's not even anything he can run onto. This kind of stuff just frustrates the hell out of me to see. We're about between 31 and 36 minutes here. How do you feel so far with Juve's performance watching this? Because there's a lot of frustration on social media, but I wasn't really feeling it. I'll tell why, but what were your thoughts so far?
It seems like they don't have flow sometimes in the game. Sometimes when they're playing, they don't have flow, and they haven't taken the Sarri system yet, I don't think. From when Sarri was at Napoli. I thought, that whole little tic-tac-toe thing.
Yeah, I get that. What else? Anything else you're feeling? So you were frustrated then?
Yeah, but there were some good spots. Dybala sort of took the leadership role yesterday without Ronaldo in the lineup, because it seems like every previous games when we're struggling, we're looking at Ronaldo to come through, to save us. Yeah, and there were some parts in the game where they were holding on to the ball too long. They could have scored a few more goals, but other than that, it was a good win. Let's put it that way.
Well, we're just between 31 and 36 minutes here, so I just want to see thoughts so far, because there's a lot of frustration out there. But here's why I wasn't feeling it. You have Cuadrado up on the wing, who's been right back for essentially the entire season. He's barely been up at the wing. I get it that he's played up there a lot in previous seasons and stuff like that, but it's different. You got to get that repetition in there, especially with new players being integrated in the system. You've got Bentancur as the deep line playmaker, who we know he's good there, but he's only had a few opportunities there.
True, yeah.
He's got Rabiot to the left. Rabiot has been being switched from left to right kind of periodically, but he's building good momentum. Aaron Ramsey as the other Mezzala. Aaron Ramsey has not had much opportunity as Mezzala, so he's still getting accustomed to it. Danilo back, who's been out for quite some time, and he's trying to get integrated, and now he's got a Mezzala ahead of him that hasn't played Mezzala for quite too long. So seeing all this in the lineup, I wasn't expecting us to thrash them 6-0, 5-0. I was expecting Sarri to be looking for answers. This was a building block match, and see what he could build off of. Are we better with Cuadrado up top? Ramsey, is he going to be our guy as a number 8? Just looking for answers. And honestly, that's why I wasn't too frustrated. And then on top of all that, when you take into account our recent run of form, okay, it's not like we came into this match guns blazing. Okay, so when you factor in the rotation, guys in different positions, trying to still gel, and the fact that we're coming off a defeat and a draw that we were lucky to draw. I mean, yeah, I wasn't expecting, this thrashing just because Brescia was missing 4 key guys or whatnot. They were going to park the bus and they were going to be defensive and try to lock it all down. So yeah, I wasn't going into this match with that frame of mind, and that's probably why I wasn't so frustrated. But I did see a lot of good. Continuing on with the match, 33rd minute, Aya gets a yellow card for a challenge. 3 minutes later, in the 36th minute, he gets a second yellow and a red card for Brescia. We get a free kick in a great spot, and Dybala with a fantastic free kick, fooling the goalkeeper, who actually ended up being their third string keeper, as they started the match, Brescia, with their backup goalkeeper, and he got injured. I think he took a knock to the head. But Dybala completely fools him, leaves him standing there, and we're off 1-0. Great to see Dybala get that goal, especially redeem himself for the easy opportunity he had missed earlier. But yeah, that's good. 40th minute, we get a great long ball to Higuain. He has a hit, just goes wide, but nice. Now we're starting to mix up a little bit of stretching of the field. We've noticed that in a couple matches now. And you've got to think that Sarri's trying to get that as part of our system, not just always through the feet, but having a look and extending the field, trying to get that back line pushed back a bit, because we're starting to see it more and more. That ball too was played by Alexandro, so actually played a very, very nice ball there. 42nd minute, another long ball. This time goes to Dybala, who does a great job to volley it on goal. He ended up being called for offside, but again, we're starting to see a stretch of field. 44th minute, a great cross in and a great header by Rugani. The goalkeeper got tips to it and deflected it off the post and out. It should be up 2-0. Obviously, if you factor in a couple opportunities through that half, 3-0. We had some good shots blocked too, from good areas. But I saw a lot of people venting, why are we not shooting? Why are we not shooting more? I don't know. I didn't. I felt like that in a couple opportunities. Maybe some of the guys could have shot. I think Ramsey had a couple there. But overall, I mean, again, taking into account our recent run of form and coming into this one, I thought it was fine. I thought that first half was fine. Your halftime thoughts? Were you frustrated like the rest of the Juventini?
No, I was quite happy with the result at halftime. Yeah, like you said, I wasn't expecting it up to be like 3-0 or 4-0.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dybala goal was a classic. He placed that ball like perfect.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
What is it? Higuain was a little unlucky on that. The goalie made a few good saves, so it could have been up like 2-0 at the half. But it was a good half all in all. Yeah.
It wasn't frustrated whatsoever. Again, factoring in all those reasons I had mentioned there. So we get to the second half, and real early on, I think we were 47th minute there. We get a couple great chances. Higuain beats a man deep in the area, and his shot maybe was going on target for goal, and it looked like it hit a defender's back heel and deflected out wide for a corner kick. But yeah, great opportunity. The ensuing corner kick, get a great corner in by Dybala, and Bonucci heads it right at the keeper. Unfortunately, keeper was there to block it. But those are two great opportunities that could have easily been a goal. After that, we did have a drop-off. There was this period of time after those early chances where I can't remember exactly how many minutes, but I was a little frustrated because our tempo dropped off. So I was finding myself, okay, now I'm getting a little frustrated with this second half. We should be picking it up. We should have played with that same pace and tempo we did in the first half to put it away, and then we could try to calm down, because Brescia was pretty much toothless. They had a couple opportunities in the first half, but one was a free kick in a dangerous area. Other than that, they had a couple of times where they tried to come in and just counter it and get ahead on it. So nothing really crazy from them. Luckily, in the second half, we were able to regain control and start moving towards closing it out, thankfully. In the 66th minute, Pjanic comes in for Ramsey. Did you agree with that substitution?
No, not really, because Pjanic has been a disappointment of the season for the most part.
Yeah, and how'd you feel with Ramsey's performance?
It was okay. It was like subpar.
I thought he was good, and I found myself getting in a conversation with somebody about this after the match, and again, factoring in how little he's been there for us in that spot, I thought what he did was great. He was constantly driving forward. He was creating space for others. When he did get the ball, he's got pretty good technical ability, and I mean, he's just going to get more and more comfortable, but he was a big part of why we were getting in those dangerous areas. His run was the one that led to the free kick that Dybala ended up scoring as well. But he makes those great driving runs. Even if he doesn't get rewarded, he's taking attention with him, and he's creating space for others. We need a midfielder that makes those runs like he does. I think as he gets more comfortable, he's only been there a couple of performances, but you've already seen a little bit of a growth there. I think, honestly, he offers quite a bit that the other guys don't in that position. So I actually was pretty happy with what I saw out of him. And again, just taking it all into account, our run of form, how little they played in those positions, I think we got to be realistic with what we ask of guys, right?
True.
But I thought it was good, and I wouldn't have put Pjanic in. You touched on it. His run of form lately has been pretty poor. But give Ramsey more minutes to build off that. So we saw Ramsey's frustration last match getting taken off, and he was struggling towards the later part of that performance for him. He was making some errors and stuff, but let him build. He was having a good one in this one. You're playing a toothless opponent. You're at home. You're up 1-0. You're trying to close it out, and you're coming close to. You should have it closed out by now. But unfortunately, not enough execution there. But let him see it out. So I had a problem with that sub. And then, 73rd minute, Pjanic has to be replaced by Matuidi because he gets hurt.
Quite often, it seems, yeah.
So he gets hurt. He's got to be replaced by Matuidi. In comes Matuidi in the 73rd. And I haven't got... the latest on Pjanic is apparently he may miss Spal and Lyon and possibly the match against Merda. So we'll talk about the Pjanic injury as we wrap up this recap on the match. So 2 minutes later from Matuidi entering, he's on the assisting end of a Cuadrado goal with a little flick on into Cuadrado's path, a little 1-2 between the two. And Cuadrado does a great job to finish that one. Opens up as if he's going to go far post and just dinks it into the short side. And now we can finally breathe a bit easier. Even though Brescia was toothless, you just wanted to see us get that one just to kind of lock it down. So it was a nice goal to see. And then, that was essentially all we needed. But as we get later on, 76th minute, an absolute laser released from far out by Bentancur. I think it went off the outside of the post. But just an absolute rock, and that's what I like to see. I want to see our midfielders shoot the ball much more. This one was pretty optimistic. He was a hell of a way out there, but hell of a shot. So Bentancur in that deep lying playmaking role. What are your thoughts on that, Yusuf?
I like that. Like, he played really well. Has he played a lot this year?
Has he?
Yeah.
In that position?
Yeah.
Not in that position.
No.
He's played periodically in that position.
Mm-hmm.
He's mostly been at Mitsala for us. And he's
but I like
actually
that.
done
Yeah.
well as Mitsala as well. So,
Yeah,
but
I like that in that position. If he stays in that position, it could be good for us moving on.
yeah, no, absolutely. And then in the 78th minute, we make a substitution. Bonucci comes off to a hell of an ovation as we make the substitution. And coming onto the pitch is our class, our leader, our soul, our pounding heart, the Capitano, Giorgio Chiellini. An absolute pleasure to see this guy on the pitch. And for those of you who don't understand that particular injury, for a guy at his age to come back after 5.5 months is incredible. So credit to him and his determination through recovery and whatnot. But awesome to see. Huge ovation. And you know what? He couldn't come back at a better time, because he's exactly what we need. He's gonna help, and we saw little glimpses of it in this match. His passing it's got conviction behind it. You know, it's urging the team forward. But there was a couple scenarios where we were pressing. We were still pressing for another goal. We were in their offensive end. Brescia was trying to come out, and he shuts it down. He gets so involved. He presses up hard, and he heads it back in, and he just allows us to contain that team and just keep on the offensive throttle. And our other defenders, they don't do it. Demiral, before his injury, you could see he played a little bit in the same manner, where he was really aggressive, pressing up, trying to pin them down. But Chiellini's probably the most effective out of all the guys we have at doing that, and that's going to be huge. And we saw it a couple times. They may look like nothing plays in the grand scheme of things when you're watching the trailing end of this match, but it's something that stood out to me that's going to help, because we need our D to cut that out. Sometimes, if you guys have noticed watching Juve, we allow our opposition a little too much breathing room and space and give them too much. Chiellini's the opposite. He cuts it right off at the head and shuts it right down. So it's going to be great. In extra time, we get a fast break in about the 93rd minute or so, and Dybala hammers the crossbar. This match, you know, going back to the frustrations afterwards and whatnot, it ends 2-0 for us. A lot of frustrations after, but this match, we easily should have been 5-0 up. Okay, the execution wasn't there, but again, taking in our run of form, it was fine. It was perfectly fine. It was a building block match. We got Chiellini minutes. We've got sorting out if Cuadrado should be included in the set of forwards we have rather than right back. Ramsey as Metsala, Bentancur as deep lying playmaker. We need to build off this, I think. Seeing those guys in those positions, I think that's the way we need to move going forward. So I wasn't frustrated. It's now up to Sarri. I think the most frustrating part is not the fact that this match played out that way, because I looked at it as a building block match. I think the frustrating part is that we're in February and we're having building block matches. Would you agree?
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like Sarri committed too much time to Ramsey and Bernardeschi as trequartista, and he should have scrapped that and put them as Metsalas. Even Bernardeschi, I could see more effective as a Metsala. It's just he needs to reward the guys in the positions that they give him good performances in, and build off what the good that we see. Not be stubborn with what he wants, right? Because what he may want obviously isn't working. So he needs to adapt, and he needs to go with what is going to work best for us and the personnel. And I find that he's not adapting to the personnel. And we talk about Sarri as a coach, and on my last podcast, I talked about, if you're going to be a coach, you're going to be a leader, you want to bring everybody up around you and make everybody better. Part of being a great manager and leader is setting guys up to succeed. Okay, and that's why I had a huge problem with him subbing off Aaron Ramsey. Okay, he was having a good match. He was doing fine. Let him build off that. Don't take him out in this. There was absolutely no need for Miralem Pjanic to enter this match. Okay, but yeah, he needs to build off these guys in these positions. Pjanic, I'm gonna say a comment on his injury, and I want your thoughts on it. I put out a tweet and I said, the Pjanic injury may be a blessing in disguise. And the reason I feel it's a blessing in disguise is because Sarri is too stubborn to make changes that he needs to. And usually it's taken an injury to force his hand, and we've been better off. So if he's not going to move Pjanic out of that deep lying playmaking role, and we want to see more of Bentancur in there, maybe this had to happen, and maybe it was a sign from the footballing gods. What are your thoughts? Is it a blessing in disguise?
I guess it is a blessing in disguise. So Sarri has no choice now to play Bentancur more and Ramsey. It looks like moving forward. Yeah, so, I think it was like due time, but like too bad it came through an injury though.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. But again, we probably wouldn't see it if it wasn't for that, because we know if Pjanic enters the match, he's going in that role. And I personally don't think he should be, But let's move forward. Ramsey and Rabiot. Are we too hard on our players as fans? I saw this match, for instance, so much frustration from fans and just ragging on these guys in particular, and just wanting this cohesion, wanting, like I said, this team to smash Brescia 6-0 or whatever, even though we've been playing poor for a while now and guys in new positions, and then just ragging on our players. Are we too hard on players as fans, do you think?
Sometimes we are. Like, we want, the perfect match every weekend.
Yeah.
I think we are hard sometimes. Sometimes they're warranted, sometimes they're not. But yeah, it seems like, we are hard. Some weeks we're very hard on our players.
Yeah, I've been happy with Rabiot. What are your thoughts on Adrien Rabiot?
I like him. He's been doing well. He's sort of like getting accustomed, to the game slowly. So hopefully as the season progresses or we get into Champions League, hopefully his role increases.
Yeah. And Aaron Ramsey.
Aaron Ramsey I like. He looks like he's playing more now. He's gotten rid of the injury bug. And now with Pjanic out, he seems he's going to be settled in that role for a while. So he's getting more opportunities now, which is great. So hopefully Sarri leaves him there.
I mean, the frustration with Ramsey I could see for most of the season, but Trequartista was not the right spot for him. Early on in the year, between him, Ronaldo, and Dybala, there was understanding there. But again, the entire team at the start of the year was building towards good progress, and then it just disappeared. So take what you want from that, but there was a period where Ramsey was just getting forced down our throats like Bernardeschi was at Trequartista, and it was frustrating to see. But I see a much, much better, much more comfortable Aaron Ramsey as a Mezzala. So I want us to build off that. Alex Sandro. Alex Sandro is, in this particular match, probably the one thing that really frustrated the hell out of me. He frustrated me. I talked about just the lazy decision to cross it in with only one target in the area on a stacked box defensively. But he frustrates me for the simple fact that he continues to get sucked into the midfield so often. He does not allow us to keep our width and keep our shape, and he never takes a chance to push that when the ball's coming our way, to maybe look for a through ball or an overhead ball. Like, he gets sucked into the middle, and by the time he's got to get out there and a guy plays it out, the defense is already set up because he's not keeping his width, and he's also so slow to commit to the attack. In this particular match, Danilo stuck out to me more than Alexandro as wanting to get committed, getting in the dangerous areas, crossing it in from dangerous area, like just way more involvement, being that option. Even if we don't give him the ball, just occupying a defender. Sandro is becoming extremely frustrating to watch when it comes to the offensive part of our attack. And let's be honest, we need the fullbacks involved, because if you're playing 4-3-3, if we don't have the fullbacks involved, our forwards are becoming too isolated, because certain teams, when they park the bus on us and when they stack the midfield, we need all the support we can get. Otherwise, our guys up top just get isolated, especially when one has to drop back to link up play between midfield and the attack. So I don't know. I'm getting real frustrated with Sandro. Yusuf, what are your thoughts with Alexander?
Yeah, it looked like it was like late in the attack, like sort of like lazing around, and then that ball to Higuain. There's only one guy in the box. So what do you think? Like, if who would replace Sandro instead of?
I thought we should have brought Luca Pellegrini in and not send him out on loan when we made the deal with Spinazzola and him. Spinazzola, in my opinion, outplayed Alexandro last season. He got outplayed by Spinazzola. It was Spinazzola's job. And there's no doubt in my mind, if we had Luca Pellegrini, he'd probably be outplaying Sandro as well. And here's a young kid, young up-and-comer. So I don't know. I just, from Sandro, and maybe, you could defend him by saying it's just way too many minutes. And I get that. But then I have another ongoing issue with our management and only going into the season with three fullbacks, Danilo, De Sciglio, and Alexandro, having to use Quadrado at right back. So then it becomes an issue I take with management, that now we're forced to play Alexandro and he's becoming less and less effective, especially in the offensive phase. And now we go to Quadrado, who we used as a right back, makeshift right back. In this match, he's been right wing. He's been right wing a couple matches ago too. But Quadrado, in your opinion, Yusuf, is he better for us as a forward, or is he better for us as a right back?
I think more of a right back, because he brings that pace to the game.
Yeah. See, I think he's less frustrating as right back because he doesn't get in these positions. For instance, we had a fast break during this match. He had an option ahead, he had an option on his left, and he had an option on his right. And he froze up and ended up making nothing out of it on a fast break opportunity. The easiest play was play it ahead of the player to the right. He can cross it in, or play a trailing pass that we could latch onto, run up to. He did none of that. It just fell apart and crumbled. So when he's at forward, we get more of these scenarios, and he's frustrating to watch as a forward. When he's a right back, he doesn't get in that scenario too often, and it seems a lot more stable, right? A lot more stability to his game, less errors. But from what I see, we almost need him as an attacker. And the reason I say that is because when he does play right back, he falls into the same position as we get into with Sandro. Quadrado is better offensively minded than Sandro when it comes to getting wide and playing that, but we don't get him in enough 1v1 opportunities when he's at right back. When he's one of our forwards, we can get him there more often. And besides Douglas Costa, Cuadrado's probably next best at beating a guy 1v1. So he's very, very strong at getting to those dangerous areas, beating that one guy and having that cross in. I kind of feel that's a higher priority for this club right now than having him at the back, because I think Danilo can provide just enough cover and he makes the good enough runs moving forward to keep the defenses occupied and get involved. So I think personally Cuadrado is more effective to us up front. We got to sort out the decision making from his end, and that comes down to the coaching and just being on the guy. But he's got to sort that out. If he's that wasteful, I don't know. But if he could just sort that out, he would. And he has done it. He's had incredible games for us, But unfortunately, a lot of frustration comes with him out of that forward position. But if we can harness it and use it properly and put him in that chance to succeed where he's most dangerous, it could be great for us. But we'll see what ends up happening there with Cuadrado. Chiellini back in the lineup, obviously great to see. I thought the best part of this was Sarri's interview post-match, where he said Chiellini was on him all day yesterday, harassing him for 10 minutes on the pitch, and then Sarri says that he didn't even make that substitution. Essentially, Chiellini did, because he looked around and Chiellini was already, right behind him and warming up and saying, when are we doing this? That's awesome. That's what we need. Fantastic to see. Yusuf, we know obviously this was a big weekend for the Serie A title race.
Right.
We had Lazio and Merda going at it, and we obviously won, took the 3 points. Lazio in what was a great game to watch. Did you watch the match?
Yeah, I watched part of it.
It was a really good match to watch. Lazio wins it 2-1, and man, really good match. They leapfrogged Merda, and all positions swapped this weekend. So Juventus up at the top, Lazio behind us, and then Merda in third. This title race, first of all, it's awesome. It's great for Juventus too. We need it, and I think we need it just because we've been obviously eight straight Scudetti. We need the push, even though we're in Champions League. We're still in the Coppa Italia. We drew the first leg of the semifinal in Milan, got the second leg upcoming, but we need that to keep us sharp, keep us going at our best. So it's frustrating, our recent run of form and whatnot. But what I notice, do you notice these other two clubs that are chasing us, like what each and every win means to these guys? Like, that was the first thing that stuck out to me when this match ended, was Lazio's players' reactions, and it sticks out to me, like that drive, that hunger, right? And it's an age-old story. Like it's the same as always, and you've seen it in movies, whatever. You get comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being champion.
We can't get comfortable.
Exactly, become complacent, and I want to see our players start to show that hunger and that desire to stay where they are up top there. We saw signs of Buffon jumping out of the tunnel, at certain match when we were starting to fall behind to Verona and whatnot. Actually, when we allowed them to draw it, jumping out of the tunnel there. Chiellini's going to be a big impact as part of keeping that hunger, that drive alive and whatnot. But I see the difference there. in reactions between these teams, Merda, Lazio, and then us, right? And I want to see us build that. And you know what? Sorry, I think he's wasting an opportunity, because he's got an opportunity to band this team stronger than it's ever been. And he's not taking it. And I'm going to explain why I think he's got this opportunity. I think he's got the opportunity because, you know, you hear these guys, like when Rocco Comiso talks about Juve and this unfair reffing that we always get these calls, you know, when all of a sudden there's this alliance being formed of, you know, Cagliari, Merda, Fiorentina, like all these clubs are banding together. They're trying to put pressure on the officiating to make things right. You have Lazio coming at us, you have Merda coming at us, and how good Merda wants to dethrone us with Conte being there. You can use all of that, you know, and build this us against the world mentality. And he's not allowing that to happen. You know, he's not rolling with that. And I look at that and I think, how could you not be taking advantage of that? And I think he's wasting an opportunity to ban this team stronger than ever, you know, and I'm not seeing that. So this is what makes me question whether he has the respect of that locker room and all the guys there. What are your thoughts when I say something like that?
You know, when we lost to Verona a couple of weeks back, it seems like they lost the locker room there for a bit. Even after the Coppa Italia game, it's like we lost their locker room and guys weren't playing with heart and passion that we've known in the past. So we have to get that back again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, if he uses all this going on around us, like, we should be killers. It's us against the world. That nothing bands a team stronger together than when everybody, absolutely everybody, is against you. And yeah, I just feel like he's not taking that opportunity. And you know, some of the things I put together when I say this is that, you know, we lose a match, he comes out and states, well, these guys have been winning for so long, you know, and he's talking to the complacency. Well, change the words that you say, man. You know, everybody's thinking that, you know, and it's easy to watch the team and say, yeah, you know what, they just look complacent, but don't come out and say that in an interview, you know, just state that you have faith in the guys, and you know what, we're gonna come out stronger. It's time to cut the bullshit. You know, don't use our winning history against us. You know, don't separate yourself from the players and the team, because that's what I hear. Excuse me, that's what I hear when I hear him say things like this. Well, these guys have been winning for so long. You've just created a separation from yourself and the players by saying these guys have won. Don't create that separation. Always talk as we, you know, the club, the team. Like, yeah, we're in a little bit of a rough patch, but here's what I want to do to get us through this or whatnot. Like, talk in that manner. Like, be a part of the actual club that you're coaching. Don't separate it and put it on them, saying, oh, they've won for too long. I have a real problem with that. And I think these are all reasons why I think he's wasting an opportunity to make Juve stronger than ever mentally, and have a killer approach. We'll see what happens and if they can right the ship. Hopefully our Capitano Chiellini can help rejoining us. But really curious on this and what I put out there just now, what fans think about that when I say stuff like that. Really, really interested in hearing the feedback. Always the rumor mill, Yusuf. We got to approach the rumor mill.
Oh, for sure.
Pep, yes or no?
Maybe depends how we do in Champions League and Serie A this year.
So reports come out saying that Pep's said he wouldn't take any offers from any clubs. I don't anticipate him saying yes he would or anything like that. He may even take a lot of the theories out there are he takes a sabbatical and then joins the following year. So it would be 2022. But I don't know. Would you want him at Juve?
It'd be interesting. I'll put it that way.
Does the financial aspect worry you? Do you think he's a coach that has to have this massive roster?
Not a massive roster, but he and his salary would be high too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Pep there. I just don't think he suits our revenue stream currently. Mm-hmm. You know, but it'd be interesting to see. Going back to the title race and Lazio and Merda, that match, Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, who Juve was rumored to be interested in last season, but the price tag was very, very high. It was about 120 mil last year. And he was off a poor World Cup performance. He actually didn't have very strong starts this season, but he's gaining form. He scores the winner against Merda. And now Juventini are really hot on him over Paul Pogba, if we were going to go one of these routes. Gun to your head, Pogba or Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. Yusuf, who would you prefer?
Let's see. I really like Pogba. It looks like Pogba wants to come back to Juve. The price is right, but it looks like they're asking for like 150 million euros or whatever the asking price is.
There's talks that rumors. There's just rumors circulating that one of Rabiot or Ramsey would be included in the deal to bring Pogba in, and then it'd be financially. So
yeah, that's the thing. Don't want to give up Ramsey.
You don't think so, eh?
No, I don't know. Well, we'll see how it goes out. If it's just rumors, or is it just like it's gonna happen, or?
I would personally give up Ramsey over Rabiot.
Oh, okay.
And this is and this is the fun part. I want to get your thoughts on this. Why would you say don't give up Ramsey as part of the deal to bring in Pogba?
He's playing a little better now. It's sort of like getting into the squad a little bit. But mind you, when Pogba was here, like he did great for us until he got sold to Manchester United. Yeah, it's a tough call.
Do you consider Pogba an elite midfielder?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you consider Ramsey an elite midfielder?
Not quite yet.
Yeah, I probably would lean that way. The reason I would give up Ramsey at a Rabiot if I had to get rid of one of those is Rabiot's a bit younger and he's not injury prone. So I'd hang on to Rabiot and just watching him throughout the season, watching him grow and continue to develop. If I had to get rid of one of those two to bring in Pogba, it would be Ramsey. But Pogba over Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, who do you choose?
Milinkovic-Savic, I would probably choose over Pogba.
You would choose Milinkovic-Savic over Pogba. How come?
Yeah, he just seems to just knows how to score goals, and he's been playing really well with Lazio. And if the price is right, we should try and grab him.
Yeah, and I think honestly, it's going to come down to Man United is losing leverage. They're finding themselves in the same situation Juve is with quite a few guys that Juve has, but they're losing leverage. Everyone knows Pogba wants out. And, the longer it goes, the more leverage they lose. It's going to be probably around the same money. Milinkovic-Savic Lazio wanted 120 mil or something last year. I don't think even right now, he strikes me as a guy that's up in that kind of money. And the reason is he's got poor spells that he still hits through. Does Pogba? Sure, but Pogba's elite. I don't think Savic is elite. He could be, and he probably will be. He's just not there yet. But the issue is, and this is why it's hard for me to go, I can go back and forth, is that Pogba, is he just going to do the same thing he's already done? It's like he comes in, oh, I want to go here, this is my home. He kind of rubbed people the wrong way when he was given the number 10 and how he treated the role and whatnot, and then he fucks off and he goes to Man United. And now all of a sudden he's not happy there or whatnot. Oh, I'm going to go back. This is my second home, I'm going to my second. Well, I could see him rubbing people the wrong way. Are we going to get the same Pogba that we had when he was here? Was he being carried by Vidal, Pirlo, Marquisio? That was just a stellar midfield. Was he just a product of that insane midfield we had? A lot of questions. He's been great, even with Man U. Like, I watch him, and that's not a strong club whatsoever, but he sticks out like a sore thumb. The guy is incredibly talented. He can give you goals out of the midfield. I probably, depending on price and everything I just said, I'm probably still leaning towards Paul Pogba at Juve. If the price comes out a little less and we don't have to sacrifice somebody, then I'd probably say let's go with Milinkovic-Savic. So I think there's a couple factors there we got to look at. The way I think the club's going to look at it is marketability. Paul Pogba's much, much bigger than Milinkovic-Savic. And I have a feeling they're going to factor that into their splash signing.
Yeah, probably.
So take that for what it is, whether it's a good way to run business or a bad way, whatever. But I think that's probably going to play a part. And who knows? Honestly, Madrid's going to be big on that signing too. And nothing's going to come until after the after the Euros. And if Pogba has a crazy Euros, then we could be priced out too, right? So it'd be interesting to see what happens. Anyways, Yusuf, kind of touched on everything we really wanted to, but getting first timers on the pod, I like to just finish up with some fun stuff. But real quick, I want to get your thoughts so far on the season under Sarri and what you expected coming into the year versus where we are now and how you feel about it.
Thought we'd be more ahead this year. It's been kind of frustrating. I guess his style, and it's like some players don't relate to him, and he doesn't show passion so much on the sidelines. Like even in the press conferences, like you mentioned, like he talks about the legacy, what happened in the past, instead of like how we're doing in the season and how to move forward. And
yeah,
he needs to show more passion. That's what I feel.
So you thought we were going to be further ahead? You thought we would walk away with the title again?
No, not walk away. Maybe it would be 4 or 5 points ahead.
Yeah, so you thought it was going to be a tight title race?
Yeah, a tight race. Yeah. I didn't think we'd lose certain games that we should have won.
Okay. For the transition going into Sarri, how long did you think in your mind it would take for his style of play to come through?
Well, I figured by now we should have grabbed his style.
You thought half a season we'd probably be seeing it shine through?
Yeah, even by March. Yeah, half a season. Because it seems like we still haven't grabbed his style yet. We're still learning.
Yeah. It's it's a bit of a frustrating one, but I think again having the race be so tight is probably saving us, if anything. So we'll see what ends up happening. Favorite current player on the squad for you?
Favorite? Let's see. I like Dybala.
He's your current favorite player on the team? Yeah, nice. Okay. Favorite moment since you've been a Juve supporter?
Favorite moment? Let's see. I guess in Champions League, was it 2016? when Dybala scored those 2 goals against Barcelona.
Okay.
In
Yeah,
the quarterfinals.
that was pretty awesome. Yeah. Nice. Any other moments that stick out to you?
Just Buffon, he's been there forever.
Yeah.
Apart from the year left for PSG, he shows a lot of heart, a lot of passion. He loves the team, he loves the game.
Yeah. That's awesome. Favorite player ever?
Ever, I would say Marquisio.
Marquisio?
He started in the youth, and they brought him up, and he was here for a while. Just the way he left, or the way you got rid of him, wasn't like a proper way.
Yeah, left a sour taste in everyone's mouth how it went down and whatnot. But sometimes you wonder, looking back, is there anything they could ever really do that would suffice? Almost, like with these guys, like I think back to Del Piero, and it's like even Buffon that got quite nice farewell and stuff, but still is it ever truly enough with how much emotion we have for these guys? It's tough. It's tough to say, right? I don't think they'd ever really fully succeed. Number one, we don't even want to see these guys go, period, right? Exactly. So it's tough, right? But no, that's great. Okay, so Marquisio. Favorite kit ever, Yusuf, that you
kit like the one you're wearing.
Oh yeah, with the New Hall in there.
Yeah, and we had the blue with the gold stars.
Nice. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. You're talking the historic Champions League '96 one.
Yeah.
The show. Yeah, that's on everybody's list. Pretty sure that's nice. Okay, that's cool, man. Let's finish off with for fun your prediction, Yusuf. How do you see the year finishing out?
I think we'll win the Scudetto on the last weekend of the year.
Wow. I don't think my heart's ready for that.
Yeah, mine neither. But I think it'll come down or mid-April because we've got games against the Inter and Lazio, so that'll tell us. Champions League, depends. I think we'll get to the quarters, and depending who we draw.
So you think we'll make it through Lyon no problem?
Yeah, I think no problem. I don't know too much about Lyon, French league, so.
Okay. So yeah, I predict. So we've got a lot of fans that are saying, we're just sorry. Like they have no doubts. They're saying they have no doubts. Sarri's going to win the Champions League with a Juve this year. I don't understand the confidence. It's not like, for me, the way I look at it, I want to get your take on it. Number one, what do you think when you hear fans talk like that?
They may be a little disillusioned. I mean, we all want to win, right? But you have to be realistic. Like, I say we get to the quarters, and then everything after that just depends.
Yeah. I mean, I keep looking at it as the season as a whole is a complete body of work. You need to progress. You need to get hot at the right time, as well as get a little bit of good fortune. But I don't think it's like a switch that you just turn off and on. I don't think they're like going into these matches against Verona and Brescia and being like, oh, we'll dial it down, like we'll take it easy. Oh, it's Champions League tonight, so tonight we'll be fluid football and we'll just like, I don't think it's like that at all. So this confidence with these fans that are just like, oh, we're gonna win the Champions League 100% this year with Sarri. I don't feel that. I'm not feeling that way. I don't, because I don't personally believe it's like a switch that you could just flick on and off. So yeah. But we will see. Thank you for the prediction. So Yusuf says we're winning the Scudetto. It's going to come down to the wire. Coppa Italia. Are we going to make it by Milan and then win it? Or are we going to...
Yeah, I think we'll win it. We'll get by Milan.
And you think we'll win the Coppa Italia?
Yeah, I think so.
So you're predicting the double. Okay.
The double, yeah.
Okay, and then you think we'll go to quarterfinals, and then anything can happen from there with Champions
Yeah,
League?
anything can happen depending who we draw.
And if that's the case, we get the domestic double, and we maybe make quarterfinals. Maybe we make it a little further, but we don't win Champions League. Do you keep Sarri?
I don't know. That's a tough call. Depends, like if Pep wants to come or whoever's available out there.
So if we get the domestic double, say we make semifinals and we lose unluckily in Champions League, you would get rid of him to bring Pep in?
No. If we get to the semis, I think we'll keep. Well, I would keep him.
Oh, okay.
But if we get flame out big time in quarters, I think he's pretty much done.
Last part to this question before we wrap up: if we do all that, win the domestic double, make it to semifinals, but we play just as unconvincingly as we have so far, do you still keep him?
No, probably not. Tough,
It's a tough one. It is a tough one. That's awesome. Yusuf, I can't thank you enough for reaching out and joining me. It's always fun having first timers on there. Thank you so much. We'll have you on again for sure. Thank you everyone who's been supporting the podcast. Again, this year's been incredible for first time Juventini joining. And we'll come back after the match against Spal with another podcast and another guest who I believe is a first timer. I'll have to check the list.
Okay.
But no, it's been awesome. So thank you everybody for the incredible support, and please stay tuned because I have a very special announcement coming out in the next couple of weeks that's going to affect all of us, and I hope that you all like it. I've put a hell of a lot of work into it, so stay tuned for that one. As always, until next time, Forza Juve, fino alla fine. Ciao.
Forza Juve, ciao.